Hey, Honest and Games here. Just want to give a little behind the scenes of Elevander of the Emu Express, just so you can see how we put together the level in case it's interesting to you people. So yeah, Unreal Engine's not very well known for doing 2D games, but we've got a wonderful 2D artist, Spacey 3D. She's great at 3D work, but in game jams, she's passionate about 2D, and we like to try and give her a chance to do the stuff that she enjoys. And last time we did a 2.5D game with Bearded Debt. But this time we went for kind of like a proper flat version instead, a pure 2D, and it came off and looked really good. We were really pleased with how it came out in the end, how kind of clean the art is in the game, and nothing kind of looks like there's no flickering and nasty artifacts and things like that. So just a little bit of how we set this up then. So on our little chicken character that we've got here, they have a camera. We use the orthographic camera mode, and what that does is just like really flatten everything down for you. Now we did initially go with the perspective camera. If I just change that over, it'll look kind of the same, but what you see with this is we do get a bit of parallax, which is great, and the parallax is something that we ended up sacrificing. But the reason we did end up sacrificing it is because I think it really showcases the assets more with that orthographic camera. You get a little bit more anti-aliasing going on, and you get a little bit of issues where as you're moving up and down, you can kind of see behind the platforms, and sometimes that's not always desired behavior. So we ended up sticking with the orthographic instead. You can see how we've layered things up, that sometimes due to the nature of the jam and how we had to hack things around, some things are slightly behind. And so, yeah, that's where the orthographic camera shined, because you really don't lose out from having things not all aligned nicely. It all just kind of gets flattened together nicely, which ended up, yeah, we're really happy with how it turned out visually. But how we actually made the map then is an interesting one, because this isn't a tile set, as you might imagine. Instead, this is just one giant sprite. If I move this up, you can see. Yeah, interesting. So yeah, in Unreal, you can just kind of get the asset and have collision generated around all the non-transparent parts. So yeah, we generally went for that, but obviously that's not the most kind of robust or future-proof way to make levels, because we can't then tweak things easily. But how we approached it is we had a little whiteboard that we were working on during it, and first step for Bora Brainoid, who I work with, was let's just go over the sort of kind of puzzles we want to fit in with our control scheme. So, you know, a double jump, a jump and a glide, a jump and then maybe a little jump at the end to break the fall, avoiding obstacles on the end, you know, having limited vertical space, so that you don't just use the one main jump and you have to kind of experiment with the controls, bits where you need to glide and avoid things. So yeah, we worked through these sort of ideas, and what that ended up turning into then is well, we started with some brief ideas like this, but then it turned out into this over here. So we built up this ended up getting modified a little bit. There used to be a hole here that we filled in, for example, but we used this as a way of just planning it out. And we actually, this image here, we ended up importing during development straight into the game so that we could play test it. And once we play tested it and, you know, we iterated on it a bit, you can probably see that this top one up here has been iterated on a little bit different. Yeah, this house up here wasn't there originally. That's something that we added during play testing. We thought, well, maybe we can have a house with kind of stepping stones up to it at this top left, which could give it a slightly different feel. So yeah, once we got around to our final iteration, then that's where we kind of passed it off to our artist Spacey, who did a wonderful job in short time as well, because this was on the last day we gave her the asset. But yeah, end result is we have a map that doesn't look like a tile set, which is great. But it does mean that we've been watching people play it and people complaining about certain parts of the map, and we can't just modify it or fix things up. The only thing we have control over really are these little cactuses, which is our kind of damage points that you can get hurt on if you fly into them. So you know, we can modify the placement of those. They're the only real kind of dynamic objects that we've got in the game. Other than that, we're looking at you know, we've got the houses as well. Just because they are more interactable objects, we needed these to be things that you can move around and reposition and the likes. But anyway, just 5 quick minutes to give you an insight of how do we put things together. Hopefully it's been interesting to anyone who wants to see behind the scenes of how we put this together. If you're interested in checking out a game, please do play it. Let us know what you think, and I hope you had a good jam. Thanks for watching.